guys, what's up? My name is Pat and today I will be talking about The Diviners by Libba Bray. To start off, I will say that I loved all the historical references that she made in this book. She referenced a lot of things that happened in the 1920s. She discussed immigration and on several times mentioned the Sacco and Vanzetti case. Obviously, she talked about prohibition. I mean, you can't really write a book about 1920s America without talking about prohibition. And then she even goes farther into history and she mentions things like the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory incident, or the Chinese Exclusion Act, or the freaking Second Great Awakening and the Fox Sisters, and just like so many things she said. I took AP US History this year, okay, so I knew like most of the references and I just felt so proud of myself. I was like, I understand all of the things and I am a genius! I also just felt like she mastered the setting of the 1920s so magnificently. Apparently we're going to eat now, so I will finish this video later. And I'm back! She obviously conquered the setting in the sense that she mentioned social movements, but she also kind of like embodied the way that people acted and spoke during the time. At least that's how I felt. This club is the cat's meow. That dress is the duck's quack. You funky for that fella? And how? I thought it was funny that Evie's uncle didn't understand half of the things that she said sometimes. He reminded me of all the parents nowadays who try to say like swag and epic fail and all those other dumb things and they don't really know what they mean and they just don't use them properly. Another huge thing that I loved about this book was the diversity of the characters. We have blacks and gays and Polish and Russian immigrants. I think it's fascinating and absolutely crucial to the story that we heard their perspectives and we saw through their eyes, because these were people who were subject to so much prejudice and so much discrimination at the time, and I think seeing through their perspectives, it just adds like so much more like good story stuff. Especially since some of these characters have really, like, heartbreaking backstories, which frustratingly haven't been fully explained yet. See, I'm not a book crier. I don't really cry at sad parts in books or movies, but I get, like, this surge of emotions when characters experience, like, traumatic events. Even though we had a prerequisite to Gabe dying, I was just really sad, and I was like, you had so much going for you. You had your trumpet and the music and the future. Why? Freaking Libba Bray, you were leading us on thinking that T.S. Woodhouse was gonna die instead of Gabe when Evie was like, oh, maybe it's gonna be a reporter, but no, you lied, you misled us, and I am upset. And those 2 chapters where you thought Theta was going to die and then you thought she was dead, I was just like, Bray, if Theta dies, you gonna die next. Luckily, Theta didn't die and that dumb jit Daisy died instead. I like to think that this Daisy is actually Daisy Buchanan from The Great Gatsby. So when she dies in this book, she's just getting a slap from karma. I mean, it's the same time, same decade, same city. I bet there is a fanfiction about this, and I will find it. I also love the vivid imagery in this book. Manhattan unfurled before her like a jeweler's velvet adorned with diamonds. Evie screamed and scrambled forward across the scorched ground, where soldiers' strewn bodies lay like trampled wildflowers. He bent his head over his notebook, writing by lantern light, chasing after words like trying to grab the tails of comets. I love book imagery when it's told in similes and metaphors. It's the best guide, oh my god. If there's one bad thing I say for this book, it's that it's a bit of a slow burn. So for people who like constant action and constant tension, you would have to be kind of patient if you want to read this, I think. There's a lot of interesting things that happen. It's just, it kind of happens like really slowly. But I think it's totally worth it and I'm like really pumped for the next book to come out. Also, I'm glad that I read this now instead of when it came out in 2012, because the expected date for the publishing of the sequel to this book is sometime in 2015 and I just like couldn't wait like all those years for the next one to come out. I can't wait that long. Even though, like, the publishing house decided to go with, like, a new style instead of this beautiful one, they have, like, this weird other thing going on, and I'm like, I'm not about this. But I actually am, because I'm still gonna buy it and read the next one. Overall, I think I would give this book an 8.7 out of 10. Why the unnecessary decimal point? Because I am a pretentious toolbag who has serious literary opinions. I suggest this book to anyone who likes supernatural stories or stories set in the 1920s, or just generally YA books. I mean, all of the teenagers in this story are pretty authentic and angsty and irrational. It's pretty legit. I don't have a sign-off yet, so keep reading, my friends. Keep reading. Redhead reads. You get it? Because I'm redhead and I'm well read. I'm hilarious.